Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the SITREP Happy Hour, where we talk TV, music, films, games, and the other random stuff that comes to our heads over the course of an episode. My name is Mike, and joining me as always is my co-host Robert.
Hello.
He's back yet again.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't go anywhere.
I'm sure we did this last episode.
He's been sat there for 2 weeks straight, waiting to record. And back from the brink of death, it's Luke himself.
Brink of death?
Well, yeah, I did hear Monday was traumatous. I wanted to say traumatous, but that's definitely not.
Traumatous is definitely not English, yeah. Monday was hard work, but it was all self-inflicted, so I'm sure none of you got any sympathy at all. 24 hours of drinking, so yeah.
Brad, do you have a tiny violin in the background you can play by any chance?
Unfortunately not.
Okay, even a fake one? No?
No.
It's just that like moment of what?
I can put my fan on if you want.
What, it's like a salute?
I don't know, it's just in the background.
I don't think Jarrett would like that at all. And that voice in the background you can hear is Brad. Welcome back, Brad.
Hello.
Hope you had a nice 2-week holiday.
2-week holiday.
From your desk. Rob's been sat here the entire time. Before we go any further, we have a couple of things to get out of the way from last episode. I am COVID-free. It's a bit late otherwise.
Oh yeah, I got really ill since then as well, didn't I?
No one cares, it's fine.
Wow.
How are you feeling? Are you better now?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh wait, you did. You got ill, didn't you? And you were like, I'm going to drink through it. I remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah, how pissed off was your cold on the Sunday morning after we recorded, Rob?
It was so pissed off, it gave me a fever.
Did you have to get tested?
9.3. No. Well, I tried, but I rang them up, and because I had like a snotty nose, I wasn't, and I didn't have a cough. I didn't really need to get a test.
Yeah, but you didn't tell White that, right?
No, I was still ill, so I didn't go away. But I did try and get a test, but their website is terrible. I was trying for a couple of days, and it just kept saying it was busy.
Yeah, we've got someone at work at the minute that was basically like, thinks that one of his kids had symptoms. He went home, he couldn't get a test, so he was just off work for 10 days. And that was it. Which is fair enough if you can't get a test. So technically, where we work, you could just be like, can't get a test.
Sorry. I luckily can work from home, so when I was better, I was working from home, but I won't be going back in. I guess the 10 days is up now, but...
Was it more or less irritating than your hiccups after the show last time?
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
I got so much trouble from Cheryl for that. It was so loud.
I was in stitches. I could not breathe. I could not honestly breathe for that. How have we all been? How have we all been over the past couple of weeks? Luke, how are you feeling? You're a bit better now?
Yeah, I wasn't ill. I was just completely and utterly hanging out my arse.
And why was that? Do you want to tell the ladies and gentlemen listening?
I'm quite a fan of motor racing, and because it was heavily postponed due to some virus that's going around, the Nürburgring 24-hour endurance race was last weekend. So me and my best friend, as we always do, set up a multitude of screens for a multitude of YouTube feeds for different cars and drivers and what have you, and just drank for quite a lot of hours.
It was quite a feat. I saw the picture that you put in our Discord, and you had quite a few screens up, to be sure.
Yeah, it's about 6 laptops, 2 TVs, and as many tablets as you can throw a stick at.
Nice.
It's good fun, though.
Brad, how have you been?
Yeah, I've been alright. I think
Yeah.
I'm the only one who's not been feeling like shit recently, so...
So what you're saying is it's your turn next, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first thing out of the way. The second thing, I will apologize for the remainder of the show if Rob and Luke do not talk to each other. And myself and Brad might have to act as a buffer because I didn't think you guys would be on talking, on the same level.
Why?
You know exactly why. You know exactly why. Because apparently you've left Luke for dead this week. Was it this week or last week?
I was ill last week, so I didn't really play much video games. But this week, I've been playing Destiny again.
Did you guys hear something then?
and apparently I'm dead to Luke.
Yeah, Rob's back. He's been putting Destiny back in his arm again. He calls it Destiny anyway. Luke, how do you feel about this whole situation?
I don't know what you're talking about. Who's Rob?
I was talking to Crouch yesterday about you guys potentially playing Destiny, and he was like, "Do you reckon Luke will ever play?" I was like,
no. Well, he has played it. That's the thing. He just played it at the worst point.
You had a bad experience, and I think that's put you off for a lifetime.
I was somewhat first of all, I don't know who I'm talking to. Second of all, I had a really bad experience with Destiny because I was forced to play it, called it out for what it was and said there was a lack of content with it. Then everybody else who plays Destiny realised I was talking sense and stopped playing it, and now all of a sudden it's fashionable to play it again.
No, you were right, but they have since fixed the game in a way and
lies,
a lot more content and stuff.
I finished the campaign, then traded it in. So
I just wish you could encounter a raid or several raids on Destiny and just realize how good they are.
That's horrible noise I can hear in the background.
They pale in comparison to the Division ones pale in comparison to the Destiny ones.
Yeah. That's the only reason I'd want to go back. But the downside with Luke off in Russia, Brad decorating.
They're bringing Russia back in Destiny, Luke, so you can still go to Russia, but it'll be in a different game.
I didn't say anything.
He doesn't know he's talking to him, so it's fine.
My head just imploded. What?
Rob said
in Destiny, the original game, there was a place called Old Russia, and they're bringing it back. They're rehashing new old content.
No,
surprise, surprise.
Yeah, you'll note the lack of surprise on my face.
So you'll still be able to go to Russia, but you just on a different game,
on a different planet.
No, it's still Earth, just in the future.
They didn't blow Russia up and send it to another planet, dude.
I am not playing Space Magic.
You don't even need to pay for it.
You and Crouchy can both go and fuck yourselves. Because I know he's listening.
Well, I'm glad you guys have made up anyway. I thought it was going to be worse, to be fair. So this week, as we discussed the last episode, I'm not going to say last week like some people do on this podcast, we've watched, in preparation for this episode, a fair few Keanu Reeves films, didn't we? And I believe this person was actually requested by Captain Carg himself. Is that correct?
Yes.
So in response, I'm going to go around the room and see how many films for preparation people have watched. Do you want to pull straws? Brad, how many films did you watch for preparation?
4.
Yeah. Luke?
Wait. We didn't do the Keanu Reeves episode last week because Brad had only watched two films, right?
Yep.
And you managed to watch 2 more in 2 weeks.
At least I'm consistent.
That's good work, dude.
So if we need him to watch 4 or 6, we have to give him a couple of months.
We need to give him at least 6 months' notice. Yeah. Luke, what did you? How many?
7.
Oh, Mike.
I think I watched 9, but technically 10.
What?
9.5? Did you fall asleep?
Yeah. No, I didn't fall asleep. And how many did you watch,
10.
Rob?
10.
10.
Right, you need to explain yourself, Mike. How is it 9 but technically 10? Surely it's one or the other.
No, well, technically, I watched Bill and Ted quite recently. So yeah, it's about the same as Rob then. 10. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Just gonna leave it on there to make it even more awkward. So, for those of you who don't know who Keanu Reeves is, Luke, do you want to fill our listeners in?
No.
No?
No. They don't know who Keanu Reeves is. What's the point? They can turn off now.
For those who don't know, who Keanu Reeves, this podcast is not for you. And you need to go Google Keanu Reeves and then watch a couple of his films.
A couple? A bit more than a couple.
Then come back to the episode.
If you want to know as much as Brad, 4.
Yeah.
Hey,
to be fair, I've seen more than that before. I just haven't watched them again for this.
But then you watched a couple of them that you'd seen before?
Yeah.
Which ones did you, since it won't take long for you to list them, which ones did you watch?
I watched Constantine, The Matrix, Destination Wedding, and Street Kings.
Okay, you watched one that I didn't. Well played.
That Destination Wedding.
It is.
It's a really good film.
It is a good film. So do you want, seeing as we're starting off with seeing as at least 3/4 of this podcast have seen Destination Wedding, Brad, what did you think of Destination Wedding?
I was going to say, do you want Luke to do his question first? But
that is a very good point.
Oh, we're doing that, are we? Okay. Well, I'll give you a clue before we start then. It's not one of the 4 films that Brad has watched, but which which Keanu Reeves movie was he tricked into starring in? If you actually know the answer, please don't ask me. If you don't, then guess away. And I'll tell
I'm not
you
going to say anything.
in an hour or so.
I know. Is this the one he was tricked into by accident, and he had to do it because of a whole, like, to avoid lawsuit or something like that?
That's part of the answer, yes.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I read this earlier, and I've forgotten the name of the film. No, it's gone. It's gone. Good. Okay, we'll save that for the end of the show. Brad, what is Destination Wedding? Obviously starring action hero star Keanu Reeves.
Action hero star.
Well, he is. In most of the films he's been in.
Fair.
And his on-screen.
Probably, I guess, spoiler alert for these films if you haven't seen them.
Yeah, huge spoiler alert.
Talk about them. So, Destination Wedding is like a rom-com starring Keanu Reeves, obviously, and Winona Ryder. And basically, the whole film just follows those two on a journey to a destination wedding. And it's just them basically insulting each other for a long time until they like each other. Pretty much.
It's fucking brilliant.
It is really good. I was surprised how much I liked it.
See, like, I don't know. I don't know what the reviews are for it. I don't care. I watched it.
The writing is amazing.
I wasn't expecting what I was watching. I did not expect half the stuff that happened in the first 10-15 minutes of that film. Like, the amount of insults going between Winona Ryder and Keanu was fucking great. And it was just nice to see him do something completely different that you're not used to. He was just... Do you know who he reminded me of? He reminded me of Rob. You are our Keanu Reeves, Rob.
In that one film.
He is quite belligerent in that film, isn't
he? Yeah.
And blunt. And straight to the point,
yeah. You'd have to sell it to Luke, though. Rob, how would you sell that film to Luke?
I don't know. There's one thing I didn't like about it is the fact that...
Was it the sex scene on the hill?
No, it was clear, it was very obvious that it was heavily scripted and they weren't allowed to deviate from the script. It was like...
Oh, there was like no like improv sort of lines or anything like that. Yeah.
It was very well like... I don't know whether it was intentional, but it was like the timing between them talking, it was like... I don't know. Like
they were never interrupting each other or like...
In real life, that's the conversations like that would never happen because people aren't that witty or unthink that quickly, and but the writing was still really good.
It is really good. I really enjoyed it. I don't know about you guys. I'd say it's a difficult film. I thought it'd be a difficult film for other people to watch because, like, me and my wife watched it, and obviously it's like a rom-com. You don't need to watch the whole film to kind of get the gist of what's going on, do you? You could watch about half an hour of it and then leave it, walk away. Because you kind of know what
to be fair, that opening scene, I was like, "What the fuck have I let myself in for?" But it gets better. It's good.
Oh, the whole what was it? It was I can't remember what it was on the wildcat they come across. Was it a cougar?
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah.
No, puma.
It's
Puma.
a mountain lion, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, she says it's like, how are we going to outrun it? It's a cheetah. It's not a fucking cheetah. We're not in Africa.
Just seeing Keanu say shit like that.
It was as if it was written by Kevin Smith. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. It was like a Kevin Smith film, wasn't it? When I think about it, yeah. But yeah, I'd say, if you're interested, go check it out. It's on Netflix at the minute. It's not saying it's the best. It's not the best. I don't think it's the best film ever. But if you want to kill,
it's just not one of. It's not a sort of film you see Keanu Reeves in very often.
No, not at all.
It's only like an hour and 20 minutes
anyway.
as well, so it's not long.
No, you can kind of blitz through it. I'm trying to think. What else did you watch this week, Brad?
I watched Street Kings for the first time.
It's such a good film as well.
That was a really good film. Yeah,
holds up as well because it's quite old.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's a David Ayer film. So the guy behind Fury, Suicide Squad, and the film with our boy Jake Gyllenhaal, Luke.
End
I
of
should know
watch.
the answer. That's it. End of watch. Luke,
Hello.
explain to our audience what Street Kings is.
It's a kind of a generic cop movie. Like there's good cops, there's bad cops, there's dirty cops. Yeah, so pretty much every cop movie you've ever seen. Keanu Reeves, Forrest Whitaker, a very young-looking Chris Evans. The Marvel Chris Evans, not the ginger radio host for English people.
Fucking Common's in it from
Common,
John Wick as well.
Terry Crews is in it as well.
Yeah, I swear that dude plays a cop in every film that I've seen him in as well.
It's got quite a big cast actually, because what's his face? What's the name of the guy who plays House or used to play House?
Hugh Laurie.
Thank you.
Yeah. He's
in it as well. So yeah, it's quite a big cast.
He's really good in it.
And
Yeah.
the bird from Altered Carbon's in it as well.
But
I don't know her name.
I've not watched
Yeah,
Altered
it's
Carbon.
Hispanic. I don't know either.
see, I like the fact Luke brought up the dude from House because I literally put in my note guy from House. It's really good. It's really, really good. I watched it back, Christ, when I think it first came out, and I really enjoyed it then. And then to go back and rewatch it, and there is a few twists and turns in it.
They're not completely unexpected twists either, but they do definitely add something to the movie. But I mean, I'm like Brad. I'd not watched it before, so I really enjoyed watching that because I think it was Rob who told me to watch it. I think. But I really enjoyed watching that one. It's outside of the Matrix and the John Wick universes, it's probably one of his best performances in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, he is good. There's not tons of action in it, I didn't think, for a sort of cop. Like, there's no big action sequences apart from the house at the start, and yeah, there's like a few like small scale like gunfights, but there's no big.
I liked the
action scenes as such.
I liked the gunfight actually in Common's apartment where spoiler
Cedric
alert.
the Entertainer.
Yeah,
is in there as
Cedric
well,
the
isn't it?
Entertainer. There's Common. There's the other bad guy, and then there's and they called him John Wick. Then Keanu Reeves and Chris Evans. Yeah, when spoiler alert, Chris Evans meets his demise. That's a well shot action sequence. I liked that.
It was.
It's a pretty fucking brutal film though, because there's a point. Spoiler, like we will say spoilers on this entire episode. But
Did somebody
like,
say spoilers like 5 minutes ago?
Yeah,
I
before we
did,
started?
yeah.
Cool.
But-
I said we're just going to, like, spoilers.
Yeah,
if we
every
get to a
movie
point-
we talk about, we will ruin for you.
maybe we should. We'll have to try and put out a list of what's actually on this episode, film wise, so you can check it out beforehand.
God.
But
Better stop that now, wouldn't I?
the film, I think the film is pretty brutal because the shop scene where Terry Crews gets shot up in is absolutely like they just
Oh,
absolutely pummel him, don't
That
they?
is brutal. Yeah, forgot about that.
There's a bit where there's a whole fishhook moment, and then some dude takes a spade to the head. Which is like, what the fuck? But I think the film actually shows. It shows why Keanu is like the go-to for these kind of like action films with like that kind of stoic attitude that he's got. But he just plays, especially in this film, he just plays like an off the ropes kind of rogue cop, doesn't he? You know?
Yeah, I think he's the way he is because his wife died or left him. I can't remember. So he's become like an alcohol. He drinks before he goes out on missions and that. And doesn't he, like, he goes in and kills all those people at the start, but he tries to make it look like they fired on him first, so he hasn't just gone in and killed them.
He's a bent cop, but he's a good bent cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got Forrest Whitaker, who's fucking badass in this film. Forrest Whitaker's fucking good anyway, but
He is a fantastic actor, isn't he?
yeah. I saw him in a film with Adrian Brody a while ago called The Experiment. Was it The Experiment? He's really good in that. But yeah, I definitely recommend to go check out Street Kings if you haven't seen it before.
It's incredibly racist right at the start. I was quite surprised.
Is it? I can't remember.
Yeah, with like the two Korean guys and all that when he's doing the deal in his car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I didn't see that. Maybe I just saw Brad.
There are some racist themes all the way through it.
Yeah, there are, like, because Terry Crews is like, oh, you just don't like black cops or something, didn't he? Like something along those
Yeah.
And then
lines.
they chase that Mexican down, don't they, as well? He's racist
Yeah.
to him as well, I'm pretty sure.
It is a pretty bad film, isn't it? Well, I'd
No,
say
it's a good film.
well, it's a good film, but you know what I mean. But, dude, like if you like this film, go check out End of Watch for sure. I think Luke would probably back me up on that one.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
You know, I'm surprised David Ayer hasn't done more of this sort of stuff. Obviously, after his big, huge hit with Fury, it's nice to kind of see him go back to his roots with the Tax Collector. But I think maybe choose better scripts from what I've heard. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't.
I thought you were going to say a more stable actor.
Tax
Well,
Collector, Tax Collector
we'll
doesn't
talk
hold
about
up
that.
to End of Watch and Street Kings. Definitely not.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But
It's
since
nice to
we talked about Tax Collector, which stars Shia LaBeouf, how many of
Crazy.
us watched
That
Constantine?
shit.
I watched it.
I've watched Constantine.
Because
I didn't.
crazy boy Shia LaBeouf is
Your boy's in it.
very young in that movie.
Is he?
Straight,
That must be.
straight out of
Free.
filming Holes.
Yeah, it must be pre-Transformers at that point as well. I thought he was in it quite a bit, and he's not, is he?
Not really, no.
He's, like, in it
He's
in
in
the
it like a
beginning.
bit at the start. He's in it a bit more at the end, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. He's not in it that much. Now, I don't know what your thoughts were on Constantine, but I seem to remember the film coming out, it getting a bit of hate, and then me kind of going, "Oh, maybe I didn't enjoy that as much as I did." And then I went back and watched it. Was it this week? I don't know if it was this week or last week. I really enjoyed it. I didn't think it was that bad at all, but maybe that's just me.
It's definitely not terrible. It's
The hate's
not
probably-
it's not one I would rush to go and watch again.
The hate's probably from the comic book nerds, though, because
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
he's
'cause
not blonde, he's not
there's a lot of
British.
that.
And
True.
yeah,
But it's a good film. Like I would watch it again.
I completely forgot fucking Tilda Swinton's in this film as well,
Yeah,
which is just weird. But yeah, I went to the cinema to see this first time around. It was just weird watching it again.
so I guess for people who don't know, Constantine so the plot of the film is he's trying to earn his way into heaven by stopping demons entering like Earth. So basically, if you do anything wrong in your life, you go to hell. And he tried to commit suicide as a kid in the film. So technically he was dead for like 2 minutes or something. And now because of that, he's trying to save his soul, basically. So he's not doing it to be good. He's doing it for himself. And yeah, in the end, he saves someone's life. So he gets to flip off the devil and go to heaven. Well, no, he doesn't. But
well, he did flip off the devil.
He did flip off the devil, but then he
Yeah.
grabs him and gets rid of his lung cancer, so he has to live the rest of his life.
Yeah, to basically
and try not to
prove-
make a mistake.
Yeah. It's good though. It is good, I think. I think some of the fucking CGI bits are a bit ropey. Like the whole there's a couple of bits where there's like monsters trying to break out of like Rachel Weisz's stomach and the person at the beginning, but it's all right.
It is 15 years old though, so
Yeah.
the CGI is allowed to be a bit sketchy at that age.
Well, yeah, to be fair.
It's another movie with a pretty decent cast because you've already mentioned Rachel Weisz, Tilda Swinton, Shia LaBeouf I mentioned, obviously Keanu's in it, former lead singer of Bush, Gavin Rossdale's in it. So, and who's, I can't tell you his name because I don't know it, but who's the guy that plays the devil?
No, I was trying to think. Fucking
Is
Korath the Pursuer's in it as well.
He's the bad
Isn't
guy in like Bad Boys 2. And he always plays like a stereotypical Russian sort of Soviet bad guy in any movie he plays, apart from when he's playing the devil, obviously, but he still can't get rid of his accent.
Peter Stormare.
Is that him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, was he in John Wick 1?
I can't remember.
It's the Russians. Excuse me.
Probably.
It's got Matey from Guardians and other superhero films. What's his name?
I love the way you didn't pronounce, because he's French, isn't he?
I can't remember his name.
Well, as soon as you are a resident
Jumon
French expert-
Honsu.
Yeah.
Jumon Honsu. Is that how you
know.
say it? That's how it looks.
I was going to say speak to our resident expert on French wine, Robert, but
Yeah, I don't
You
know
beat
how
him
to
to
pronounce that. Did Jimon Honsu?
did you, man? Did you something? No.
Good
Why not?
effort.
But being honest, it's nice to see Keanu in a horror film because it is kind of a horror film, isn't it? It is. Would you class it as a horror film?
I think you're clutching a little bit, but
Yeah,
yeah, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
it's not nowhere near a horror film that Knock Knock was that he starred in with the two girls that come to his
Oh,
door.
that's a great movie.
According
I wish
to,
I'd rewatched it.
Yeah, me
but,
too.
According to IMDb, it's a fantasy horror.
Okay, fine. Well, technically that's horror, so I'll take it. There is a really weird ass scene in it though, where I don't know if you guys picked on it, where Keanu just stares at Rachel Weisz's boobs for like way
Yeah.
too long.
When she's
And
getting,
I was like,
when she's getting in the
I don't
bath.
remember that.
Yeah, when she's getting in the bath, and he's like, "Are you ready?" Or no, she's asking him, does she need to take off her clothes or
Yeah.
something? And he just looks down, and it's just. I don't think you'd get away with that in a film now, but there we go.
Yeah, but she smiles at him as well. She's like, "Do I have to take off all my clothes?" And he just looks down, stares at her chest for a minute, and goes, "I'm thinking." And
Oh,
then she smiles and goes, "John." It's like, "Welcome back to the room."
A
My
couple
eyes
other
are up here,
bits.
pervert.
I was completely blown away. Like, there's a nightclub scene when he goes to see Korath at the nightclub for the first time. And you got Perfect Circle. I love Perfect Circle. And it's kind of like that 90s, 2000s. We're gonna have metal bands playing in a club, which is,
in a really dark club, and everyone's wearing like leather.
yeah, it kind of reminds me of another film which we might talk
Yep.
about later on,
Oh,
or
the
Blade.
Matrix.
Blade,
Yeah.
yes, Blade.
And like, I'd say the final bit on that film is there's a bit where Rachel Weisz gets freaking pulled. She's just like stood there or something, and then she gets fucking sucked down a
through all the
corridor.
walls and that.
And then Keanu starts reenacting the fucking Nike advert through all the walls. I was like, holy shit. And finally, the sprinkler scene, the holy where he pulls out the fucking.
Oh, that's so good.
So fucking good.
Yep.
That is like the best part of the whole film.
The big like minigun looking shotgun thing.
Yeah.
He's
so
just
good.
blowing people away.
I know I've heard rumors about it, or they were talking about it with the because they did like a recent get together to discuss it. And I know it was on Collider, so you'd have to find it, but they do kind of want to do a sequel to this. I'd be up for it. I'd like to see a sequel now, kind of done by DC with Keanu Reeves. I'm not saying it would ever happen, Rob, because you're shaking your head. Any reason why you don't want to see it?
It would never happen. Because they're committed to that Welsh dude, aren't they? As him being Constantine. I know the TV
Welsh
series.
dude.
Yeah, there was a TV series of Constantine. I only did one season.
What's his name? Matt? Is it Matt?
But he does the voice of Constantine in all the animation films as well.
And he was in Legends of Tomorrow, the CW series. Pretty sure he was in that.
Maybe, yeah, he might have been in like a cameo or something. I don't know. Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, I stopped watching them. So
I honestly, I don't know if you guys agree. I feel like this is a bit like Street Kings. I'd like to see a sequel. I don't know where you would go with a Street Kings sequel, but I know you could definitely kind of continue with Constantine.
I mean, I enjoyed Street Kings, but I don't think you need a sequel of Street Kings. I mean, for the same token, I don't think you really need a sequel of Constantine either. But
no, true.
No. Maybe a remake.
Okay, so moving on from films that Brad's seen, we're going to give Brad a little break for a minute, to a film that may or may not had decent sequel. I don't know if there's more than one. Speed, which I watched.
Speed 2 is not a decent sequel.
No, it's not at all.
Also, for the purposes of this podcast, it doesn't exist because Keanu Reeves isn't in it.
No, yeah, you know it's bad when Keanu reads the script and is like, "Nah, I'm out."
Willem Dafoe does crazy pretty well, though.
He does
almost as good as Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But yeah, Speed. So the basic premise, if you haven't seen Speed, I mean, it's been around a while. Luke's laughing.
I'm laughing.
There's a bomb. What? Who actually explained this last time? No, it was Brad, wasn't it? Brad was like, I don't know if I need to watch Speed. I mean, the basic premise is there's a bomb on the bus.
I know. I'm
premise.
I know, Luke.
Premise,
I know.
then, sorry. There's a bomb on the bus. It can't go less than 50 miles an hour.
Correct.
Kilometers an hour, something like that. And if it does, it will blow up. And it's down to Jack. Is it Jack or John?
Jack
to save everybody on the bus.
Are you sure you watched this, Mike?
I did, but I can't remember the names because they're all like generic fucking names, and they're all the same, aren't they? We were talking about that pre-show. Like most of the names of the characters he's played are a bit like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's either Jack or John or something like that. When was the last time either of you watched this film? Rob?
Long time ago.
Luke?
It came out in 1994, so I'm going to hazard a guess at 1996.
Yeah, when it came to VHS.
Yeah. It used to be able to rent it from that Blockbuster or some shit.
I think he's Dennis Hopper's the bad guy, right?
Yeah, Dennis Hopper's the bad guy. He's got his partner is played by is it Jeff Daniels from Dumb and Dumber fame? Even though he's done other stuff, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Jeff Daniels.
It is Jeff Daniels. Yeah,
it is Jeff Daniels. The intro. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say your girl Sandy B's in it, who just makes every movie she's in better.
Wow, let's not go that far.
Minions.
Tell me a movie starring Sandra Bullock that would be worse with her not in it.
Sorry,
that doesn't make sense. My case.
No, that doesn't make. Rephrase the question. That doesn't make any sense.
No, I don't need to rephrase the question. I said your girl Sandy B, who makes every movie she's in better, is in it. Therefore, my question to you is: name a movie that Sandra Bullock is in that would be worse with her not in it?
I don't know many of her films.
You can't answer the question then. Therefore, I am right by default.
Well, no.
Ocean's
Default.
13, or
It
whatever
just
it's
means I
called.
can't name a film because I can't remember the names of the films.
But yeah, you're right. Dennis Hopper is in it. I don't know if any of you can remember the theme tune to this. You need to Google it and find
No.
it. Because I thought it was like from
25
a game.
years ago. I'm not going to remember a theme tune.
It sounds like the theme tune for Time Crisis on PS1. Dun 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 dun.
So, okay. So,
I can't remember
Thanks,
that
man.
either.
free action movie from the 90s.
Yep.
Yep. That's suspense music.
To be fair, yeah, it does sound
Yeah.
every action. Like, but there's a whole intro scene with the elevator where he has to save all these people, and one woman almost gets her fucking legs cut off by the elevator because she's being a fucking idiot. But they literally do the Tom Cruise Mission Impossible bit. So there you go, folks. Keanu Reeves did it first. He like goes down on the freaking cable.
Oh, yeah, underneath the plane.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, spoiler, end of Mission Impossible, I could be wrong, bear in mind I haven't seen it in a long time, but the first Mission Impossible, he goes on the train and he like fucking bashes the dude's head into like an overhead thing on the ceiling. At least that's what I remember from Mission Impossible. Is that right? Because they do the same thing with Dennis Hopper in this film. And this film came out 2 years prior to Mission Impossible. So it's technically a prequel? Maybe? When Ethan Hunt was a cop? I don't know.
Who
But
plays
yeah.
the main bad guy in Speed?
Dennis Hopper.
Oh, Dennis. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Just
really
said
good
that as
though.
well, actually.
Yeah.
He was
I can-
he's
I
also
can
the bad guy in the Super Mario Brothers film.
Yes, he was.
Yes.
That Brad didn't believe it existed when I told him. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The Super Mario movie's got
Bob Hoskins
Boris in it.
Boris.
And Boris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boris, yeah, as Luigi.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's borrow the blade. People that don't know.
At Borrow the Blade on Twitter if you want to find a certain person.
John. I don't know
Leguizamo.
what- That's it. Leguizamo.
John Boris.
I'm pretty. It's one of his social medias. I forget if it's Twitter or Twitch or Untapped, but something he's got actually says in his description, "Borrow the blade," a John Leguizamo lookalike.
Yeah, I think it's
I
Twitter.
love him
I
for
think
that.
it's Twitter. Twitter.
But yeah. This film still holds up, dude. I watched it. I think it's one of the few out of all of them that I've watched, I really enjoyed this today, to be honest. But then it's the most recent, so I can't really. I don't know.
You watched it today, did you?
Yeah, I literally watched it whilst you were watching Constantine before recording the podcast.
Oh, right, okay.
That's
cool.
why I sent you that picture.
I
You-
don't
which
recognise that
probably didn't
movie. It's just a picture of.
All I remember is it ends on a train track. Like they crash
Yeah.
into a train track.
They end it like Under Siege 2 on a train. Bear in mind, I have not seen that film in a long fucking time.
Wow. Yeah.
And then they do Under Siege, the sequel?
What? Someone comes out of a cake.
Yes. Who comes out of a cake, Rob? I can't remember.
Some blonde woman.
Any more description on that? Or
Oh.
we're going to leave it there.
You get to see her boobies.
Okay. Fair enough. I was wondering how far I could push you on that one. Rob, what Keanu Reeves films have you been watching, dude? Pick one.
I watched the new Bill and Ted.
What do you reckon?
Meh.
Really?
I mean, it was a Bill and Ted film. But
I
yeah,
feel
it
like you
didn't-
could say that about all of them, though.
Do you like the first two?
yeah. But it's like I don't know. They didn't really. It wasn't really a stretch from the first two. You know, like I was expecting it to be like a modern film, but it was pretty much as if they'd made it a couple of years after they made the second one. Do you know what I mean? Your blank face, blank looks. Do
I don't know. Only you and Mike have seen this, so
you know what I mean, Mike?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I know what, without seeing it, I think I know what you're trying to say because it's the same with the Dumb and Dumber
Yeah.
Jim Carrey sequel, because they made a Dumb and Dumber sequel that didn't star either of Jim Carrey or Jeff Daniels, didn't they? So that doesn't count. But then they made a Dumb and Dumber with those two in it, and they may have well have filmed it, like Rob's just said, a couple of years after they made the originals, but it doesn't push the envelope at all. It's just another Dumb and Dumber movie. So it didn't necessarily need to be made, is what I'm trying to say. I haven't seen this Bill and Ted movie because I've got no interest in watching it, but
I can see why they wanted to do it, if that makes sense. Because, like,
other than money, you mean?
Well, yeah. It's doing all right. To be fair, it's doing all right. Apparently, it's made.
I don't doubt it.
Made,
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, but
nostalgia it goes a long way.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, unfortunately,
and everyone loves Keanu at the moment. So
yeah, on that Keanu essence, whatever you want to fucking call it.
Wow,
Renaissance.
Another word that Mike's making up.
I agree with Rob, right, to a degree, but I didn't expect anything more from it. I think with Dumb and Dumber, I think that's a different situation. Like, it's fucking Jim Carrey. You expect... It'd be like expecting after Adam Sandler put out The Waterboy, something like that. Do you know what I mean? And then you get, I don't know, fucking ridiculous 6.
This is completely off the track. I'm really sorry. But has anyone seen... there's like an advert on Twitter for like an app that puts faces on other people's faces, and they basically take Jim Carrey's face and put it on John Wick's face, and you see some iconic scenes from all the John Wick films. It's so good. It looks so good.
You just sat there watching.
I was just like,
for like 10
they
minutes.
should cast Jim Carrey as John Wick. Would have been amazing. Those films would be very different, though.
Yeah, they would.
Imagine every time you kill somebody, he's throwing in a Ace Ventura style like catchphrase or something.
Alrighty then.
Alrighty then.
Like a glove.
Yeah, they'd have definitely made 5 of those.
Sorry,
I don't know.
back to
I think with Bill and Ted it's difficult. I think it's in a way it's kind of been too long.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but I don't want to spoil it because Brad hasn't seen it. This will be the film that I don't want to spoil. I'll be honest. To me, my favorite character in the whole film was Death. I think he was the best part of the whole film.
Oh, he's good in the second one, though.
Yeah, he is. But
no,
I don't know.
The robot dude, he's the best character. There's a robot. It's just it's he could be Huey from Benchwarmers. It's hilarious.
Howie.
Howie. Sorry.
Yeah, it's Howie. The only thing I don't like about it is the ending. I don't like the ending. That to me is almost as if it's playing to today's culture, and I don't like it. And I know that seems wrong, but it just doesn't. I don't know. I kind of get the message, but after 3 films to get that was the answer, it was kind of like they Star Wars did a Star Wars on it. But there we go. Anyway,
Cheryl watched it as well. She didn't like the female version of Keanu Reeves at all.
Me and Brad were talking about that this week. Fuck. The female version of Keanu Reeves, but I thought it was the same person, but it's not. I can't remember.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
She was in Action Point and something else, and I can't remember.
Yeah, they're both
confusing me with someone
else. Because I recognise the blonde girl as well.
But anyway,
yeah.
Let's get off that. Luke, what other films did you watch?
I watched Siberia.
Oh, nice. I didn't get a chance to check that out.
Yeah, it's not great. I'll be honest. He's like one of the criticisms of Keanu Reeves, like we have to say it at some point during this podcast, is he's very wooden. And
he's almost made of wood.
He is literally a chunk of oak.
He is Pinocchio.
Smooth oak.
Yeah, it's not amazing. I mean, it doesn't make me wish for those 2 hours of my life back, but they're not 2 hours of my life that I would recommend somebody else uses, if you know what I mean. It's he plays not an arms dealer, a black market diamond dealer who has to go to Russia to do a deal and inevitably things go wrong, but he spends half the film shagging some Russian girl. There's not much else to say about the movie than that.
It's kind of like the other film that he does, and I can't remember what it is, where he just basically drives around a city with two girls and a camcorder. And I can't remember what for the life of me what it's called, but not a lot happens in it. But it's just kind of out there, if that makes sense. It's just like something he wanted to do. But I feel like a lot of the films he just does for the sake of it, because he obviously doesn't need the money to do it, if you know what I mean.
It was a complaint of his a while ago.
Not for the sake of it, sorry.
Yeah,
That's
but
a bad choice of
when he
words.
turned down Speed 2, he complained that he was put in like the Hollywood wilderness for like 10 years, wasn't he? So maybe it's just a case of he literally takes any script that people throw at him nowadays. But
No, he was blacklisted by... I can't remember who made the film, and I've just watched it. But whatever studio did the distribution of that film, they basically were like, yeah, we're not having you on board any of our films after that. Because he turned them down for like...
Miramax?
I can't remember. It was a $12 million paycheck for it, though, and he read the script and was like, nah. Because I think the end scene of Speed 2, where the boat crashes into the ocean, into the harbor,
spoiler,
cost like $25 million. They spent like a quarter of the budget on that 5-minute scene. Jeez, yeah, it's insane. I think I watched a film. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. Point Break.
Of course, I've seen it.
I've seen it a long time ago. I've seen the remake as well, but
Is the remake any good?
not really.
Okay.
But I mean, it
to be honest,
depends on your definition of what was good for the first movie, to be fair.
hey, I liked Point Break. I did actually like Point Break. I think Speed was better, definitely better than
Mate,
Point Break.
Speed's a classic. Don't underrate Speed.
No, I'm not. But I really fucking enjoyed it. So Point Break is basically what a rookie... I can't remember if he's LAPD or... I think he's LAPD. Yeah, it's rookie LAPD, and he's basically trying to bring down these people that are robbing banks dressed as dead presidents, aren't they? And is it Gary Busey? Is it Gary Busey?
Yeah.
Gary Busey.
Yeah, is his partner when he joins, and he's like the crazy guy that's got like this theory that, you know, the people robbing the bank, or banks, should I say, are fucking surfers because of like some tan lines they've got on their back. Which, to be honest, is a fair, like, everyone's fucking laughing at him at the station, all the rest of it. And then he basically goes undercover and tries to I don't want to say infiltrate, but it's not, he doesn't even really infiltrate. He doesn't give a fuck about his cover in this film at all. There's a bit where he's chasing a bunch of fucking surfer dudes down the road and just trying to fucking
I didn't realize he was
pop shots. Who's that?
Dr. Cox from Scrubs is in.
Yeah.
Yes, he is in it. I was like, yes. I thought you would have loved that because of that, because I know how much you love Scrubs, Luke.
Oh, dude.
But isn't Point Break more of a Patrick Swayze movie than a Keanu Reeves movie?
It's very Patrick Swayze heavy,
Yeah.
isn't it? Look at me and my lovely long hair and my surfer body.
Yeah, and then they cut it all off at the end, spoilers.
Yeah, because that's a spoiler.
I don't know, it's really weird. Because, like, I don't know how long there's like a whole end scene where they go to the beach and he finally catches up with him because, spoiler, he gets away. And it's like Keanu's got like shoulder length hair, yet it's like really short throughout all the film. And then Patrick Swayze's got short hair, so I'm like, well, they didn't film it to start with and stick a wig on him, I don't think. Otherwise it would have come off in all the fucking surf scenes.
Isn't there a scene in Hot Fuzz where they reenact a Point Break scene where he shoots the gun in the air because he doesn't want to shoot him and he lets him go?
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Good call, dude.
Because he's chasing down, I think it's Patrick Swayze, and he's climbing over a fence. He's just like, he wants to shoot him, but then I don't know why he doesn't. He's just like, fuck, I'm going to let you get away. I suppose the whole point was like the fact that he'd been... he was kind of torn between the surfer dude life and not giving a fuck and his job and his career. But yeah, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I didn't realize it's done by Catherine. I mean, my notes auto corrected it to Big Elbow, but it's Bigelow. And I now know. I don't know if you guys ever listened to Static Lullaby, but there's a track on one of their albums called The Turn, and at the beginning it's like Little Hand. What is it? It says it's like Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll, and I now know what that's from because it's from the intro bit on the film, where like one of the, I guess it's fucking Patrick Swayze like sets him up to go and rob the bank. Anyway, Rob, what else did you watch, dude?
Scanner Darkly. Did you talk about
Did
that?
you? Yes.
I mean,
explain it. I want to see you explain this.
I don't think I can, dude. I've watched
Really?
that film several times. I still don't think I 100% understand it.
This week? You've watched it several times this week?
No, I watched it. We gave Brad an extra 2 weeks. It was a week before that. 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really good film. It's an odd film because they've kind of filmed it and then they've kind of
rotoscoped over the top of it.
Yeah, they've kind of put like a animation over the top. And Keanu Reeves plays a undercover cop, but no one knows his identity. So when he goes into a police station, he's wearing like a special suit that like randomly generates a constantly changing face.
It's like Mystique broken, isn't it?
Yeah.
From X-Men. So like if you've seen, I'm pretty sure there's a point where she gets shot in one of the X-Men films and she's just constantly rotating through like different body parts of people she's killed and all the rest of it. It's kind of like that.
And like, he's undercover and they know like that his boss doesn't know who he is. They're surveilling a house and one of the people in there is supposedly producing or a part of producing a drug.
Or is linked to the dealer.
Or is linked to, yeah. Is in some way can lead
connected
them to the source. And then they don't know it's Keanu in the house because he's constantly wearing the suit. They just know there's someone living in this house. There's like 5 people living in the house.
But Keanu's one of them. Winona Ryder's another one of them. And then you've got the show fucking stealer, Robert Downey Jr.
Downey Jr.'s in it.
He fucking steals this film.
Woody Harrelson's in it.
Yeah, he's fucking great in this film. He's crazy. And he's got long hair as well.
The cast is amazing. And then there's the crazy guy that sees cockroaches in his hair. What's he called? What's his name? I
can't remember what his name is. I know the bit you mean, but he's basically the first person you see on the opening of the film where he'd been taking. Can you remember what the name of the drug was?
It's like something D. It's literally like.
I can't remember the name of the drug, but he's basically had way too much, hasn't he? And he's just started. It's basically causing him to hallucinate, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the other problem is Keanu Reeves' character in Scanner Darkly is basically undercover, and he's in this house to try and infiltrate it. But the other problem is like they don't know who's actually connected to the drug and all the rest of it. And the problem is Keanu's ended up taking this drug as well to fit in. So he starts getting sick and going fucking crazy, doesn't he?
It's Rory Cochrane, the guy that was in Dazed and Confused. If anyone's seen that.
Oh, right, okay.
The stoner dude from Dazed and Confused, one with long hair.
Yeah, with Matthew McConaughey, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it should be because I'm pretty sure Richard Linklater did that film and this film. Off the top of my head. I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, it's really good. Would you recommend this film?
Yeah, but you have to be like paying attention.
I feel like this film doesn't make a lot of sense till like the last 5 minutes.
Substance D is the name of the drug.
Yeah,
something D.
Yeah, Substance D. Yeah, but yeah, I feel like this film doesn't add up till like the last five minutes.
Yeah.
Well, like the whole
there's
point
like a whole blue flower thing, and then at the end, he's
clicks.
I don't know. It's such a good film, though.
If you like sci-fi, it's definitely.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's not even sci-fi, is it?
It's just fucked up. If you like fucked up films, then watch this film.
Yeah, it's based on the book Scanner Darkly by Philip K. Dick, published in 1977.
K. Dick.
Yeah. Brad, over to you. What other films did you watch?
It depends if we're doing the last one I've watched now or not.
We'll do that one last.
Yeah, you might want to go to someone else then.
Is that? I thought you had 4.
Yeah, you had 4.
Yeah, Destination Wedding, Constantine, and Street Kings.
Oh, okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Back to Luke.
The only one that we can talk about that's not the elephant in the room is Exposed, which
I've seen that.
again is not brilliant. To be fair, it's another
So
very.
you pick some good ones.
Yeah, it's not. It's. I mean, it's weird because it's got Keanu Reeves in it, obviously, Ana de Armas in it, who is incredibly hot. But he's a police detective that is trying to find out the truth about his partner's death.
Surprise.
But Ana de Armas plays a very devout Christian who it transpires towards the end of the film that she was raped by Keanu Reeves's police partner. But through the whole movie until the very end, when she stops having these imaginations that she wasn't raped and that she saw the image of God and that she's the reincarnate of Mary, basically. It's just a weird movie because Keanu Reeves doesn't really get anywhere. And it's only when Ana de Armas stops all these hallucinations or these...
You would not kick her out of bed, would you?
You would not kick her out of bed, but she's not all together in this movie. She has a massive trauma because she's raped in a subway by Keanu Reeves' partner, but for the rest of the movie she just tells herself that she saw the image of God and that she wasn't raped and she's the reincarnate of Mary and this baby that's growing inside of her was a gift and not a product of rape. And it's not a great movie, to be honest, and I'm really not selling it very well, but I wouldn't waste your time on it, to be honest.
Oh, it sounds all right.
No, it doesn't. I think should we move on to the two big like franchises? Are we going to do John Wick?
Is that we doing John Wick next?
I mean, I'm done.
Yeah, I think the elephant in the room needs to be last, doesn't it?
Okay, well, before we do John Wick, I've got one more film that I did watch, which was Hardball. Has anyone seen Hardball?
No.
I want to watch it.
Like,
but then
never.
It's what's it about? It's about baseball, right?
Yeah, so it's basically Keanu Reeves playing a guy that has huge gambling problems, and
isn't Jonah Hill in this film?
No, that's Moneyball.
Oh yeah, that's
a completely different film. Chris Pratt's in that film as well. I don't know why I threw that in there.
I mean, you're not wrong, but
no. But yeah, basically, he's just an idiot. I think at one point he borrows like 30. Is it 30? I can't remember if it's like 30 or $3,000 off some dude to then go to someone else and bets with them and then loses both.
Oh, it sounds like the Adam Sandler film.
Yeah, it's like the Adam Sandler film.
But worse.
No, that's worse. This is like, I mean, this is 2001, so, but it's basically like he goes to his friend to borrow, like to get him to borrow money, and he won't give him the money. He said instead, look, I'll pay you $500 a week, because he spoke to the people who's gonna fucking break his legs, and they're like, we want $600 to $800 a week. And he's managing to keep him off his back with this $500 to basically coach a little league baseball team. and it's kind of like the Mighty Ducks, but it's not the Mighty Ducks. I don't. It's kind of one of those feel good freaking sports
Kind of like
movies.
the Mighty Ducks, but there's no ice.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's a fucking sports film. He comes in and they're absolutely terrible. They're not. I don't even think they've got a team. They haven't got jerseys or anything. I think it's set in I can't remember where it's actually set.
It was a feel-good sports movie.
Yeah, it's basically in the hood of wherever it is in the film, and
Chicago.
It's a rough ass area, and like these kids, they're supposed to be home at a certain time, and he doesn't give a fuck. So like one of them gets beat up and you can kind of see it's kind of eye opening from that point of view. But then he kind of gets better as a person and shit like that, and it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I'd say it's just another different film for him to watch, if you know what I mean. But kind of like Destination Wedding, he's a complete fucking asshole in this film. So it's worth it for that. Anyway, yeah, Rob, the two big franchises.
Wick. I watched all 3 John Wick films.
Wow.
And all 3 Matrix films.
Nice.
Wow. I feel like we could have done a whole episode on both of these each. And I feel like I've said that several times, but there we go.
The second John Wick film is my favourite. The third one I don't like.
Oh,
Because of the dog scene.
I think I agree with you. I didn't watch any of the John Wick movies for preparation for recording this, even though we had 4 weeks to do it. Thanks, Brad. But
all right,
I think I agree with you because 3 just goes a bit too far. I think 3's got the best opening scene by a long way,
half an hour or so.
Yeah,
jeez.
But then I think 3 goes a bit too far. So I think it swings from being like 3.
It's a really good film. I just don't like the dog scene. I'm just like, we trained some dogs.
Yeah,
let's use them.
Yeah. And every scene since we introduced them.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that whole plot thread from that point in the film is an absolute waste of time. Would you agree, Rob?
Yeah.
Because he basically goes to find...
We trained some dogs. We need to use them. That's it.
Who is it he goes to find?
He goes to find the weird dude in the desert.
No, before that. It's not even before that. He uses...
Oh, the woman.
Morticia. He uses Morticia to fucking escape out of New York. Pretty sure it's New York.
Morticia.
It is Morticia.
I know.
I'm not wrong.
I know, it's just funny.
To then go find Halle Berry. To then go find the dude from Game of Thrones. To then go find some random dude in the desert to cut off his finger. To then go, you know what? Fuck that. I'm not doing what I said. It's just completely kind of a pointless loop, but yeah. Anyway,
who cares?
Yeah, it's a film.
It's 3 with all the fighting in the mirrors as well, right?
Yes,
and all the glass panels in the mirrors, and that pissed me off as well.
Really?
Like not. It didn't piss me off as much as the dogs bit, but it's just like we've got a really cool idea to lose a lot of mirrors. We're going to use them.
We want to give everyone 7 years
20
bad
minutes.
luck.
Yeah.
No, but being honest,
every single person that watches this movie gets 7 years bad luck. There's that many mirrors involved.
But that end scene in the building is absolutely brilliant because like it's all foreshadowed in like the first film that he's Baba Yaga. He's like the creature of
Baba
the night,
Yaga.
sort of. He is.
The boogeyman.
What he's the boogeyman, and then
It's just your
like
No, he's the guy you send to kill the boogeyman.
Yeah. But it's just like he's like this creature, that just kind of appears out of nowhere, and that's like the one moment in all 3 films that it's actually used. If that makes sense. Like he disappears, like he completely fucks up the dude that was working at the sushi place.
Yeah.
Brad, which one of the 3 John Wick films is your favorite?
Oh, I really like 3, but I think I'll have to agree 2's the best. But like Luke said, the opening to 3 is just so good.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
It's amazing. Like all 3 of them, that like you can see why it pays off for him, where he commits to like his gunplay and his martial arts and that, because it's brutal. It's up close.
I do like the first one though, because it's like
That bit in the house in the first one is
They
so
haven't really
good.
established that he's like invincible. Yeah. So you're still kind of on the edge of your seat, like, oh, he could die at any minute. No, he's not going to, but he could.
Yeah, like you don't understand like the main bad guy in the first one. He's like, he's like shitting himself because you've pissed off John Wick. You killed his dog, and you're like, well, it's just one guy, and then he kills about 500 people.
Alfie Allen, isn't it? Fucking Lily Allen's brother.
Yeah, but it's like film wise, he's slowly worked his way up the chain of like who he's killing. He's just kind of killing like the fucking scum at the beginning, and now he's just working his way towards the high table.
No, he's killing people that pissed him off.
Yeah, but
and then it just escalates.
It's just... Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he's just slowly working up the chain. And I'm gonna be honest, if Hugo Weaving isn't on the High Council at the end, dude. I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
That'd be so good.
Wearing a way of like a suit and sunglasses.
I love it in 2 because there's the whole
wig. If he doesn't...
Mr. Wick. It is inevitable. We were to meet.
Like this was
it has to happen. Imagine if they do
What's that sound?
It has to be done. Come on.
Inevitability.
The only thing I'll say with 3, and I watched 3. I'm pretty sure I watched 2 films back to back that night of Keanu. I think I watched Hardball and then went straight into fucking John Wick 3. Bit of a weird one. So you have like a nice happy, and then let's fucking kill a bunch of people for almost 2 hours. Is the Bowery King dead? Because you technically don't... Oh no, he's not dead. Because you see him at the end, don't you? I think that's just a note I wrote down halfway through the film. Because you gets absolutely smashed up, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. My bad.
What were you trying to say before, Brad?
Oh, yeah, in 2, because like there's the whole thing in the first 2 films, is it? I can't remember how much it's in one, where you don't kill anyone in the hotel. It's like a safe zone for any of the sort of what do you call them? The people that hitmen, yeah. And once you're in there, like the rule is you don't kill anyone, otherwise you get kicked out, and then you're like a marked target for everyone to come and kill you. And at the end of the 2, he just walks in and blows that guy's head off. So he just doesn't give a shit. He walks up to him when he's on the chair and just right in the face.
I was going to say, do we think Lovejoy's going to make it through the next 2 films? I'm saying Lovejoy, like everyone out there is going to know what the fuck I'm on about, but yeah.
Deadwood. You could say Deadwood as well.
Deadwood.
Or, I mean, you could use his real name, but I don't know it.
What was his name in
is it Willem Dafoe in
the Pirates films?
I know him as
Blackbeard.
Lovejoy.
Yeah, Blackbeard.
Yeah. Blackbeard from... Do you guys think he's going to make it? Because he technically fucks John over in the 3rd film.
I think I feel like his number's going to run out on 4.
If he's fucked John Wick over, then going by the last 3 films, he's very much going to be dead fairly soon.
Are you talking about Ian McShane? Is this who you're talking about?
Ian McShane, yeah. But then he kind of just sits there. He kind of just sits there where the guy at the counter and John just fucking go ham on all those agents from the High Council, doesn't he? He just fucking just chills out and doesn't really do a lot.
Willem Dafoe's good in the first one.
He is really good. He's really good.
The bird from she's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like the first 2 seasons, I think.
Mockingjay? Is it Mockingjay? Mockingbird?
I don't know.
Adriana Palicki?
Yeah, that sounds right, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
One that tries to break the rules in the hotel.
Yeah. I still think the funniest bit in all 3 films is the bit in the second one in the train station, and I have no idea why. I was watching the second one in the cinema, and there's a bit with John Wick up top and Common down the bottom, I think. I can't remember which one around it is.
Continental.
And they're just going, no, not in the Continental, the train station.
I know, I was just like
all right.
trying to remember the name of the hotel.
Okay.
You did it.
You did it. Well done, Rob.
Thanks. Sorry.
But there's just a bit where they've both got guns in public and they're just going, taking pot shots at each other.
You're
And it's
empty.
just the way they did it.
Oh, sorry, wrong
Yeah.
franchise.
Is that where they're like fighting each other and then they just stop because like a crowd of people walk between them?
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was funny. Just the fact that we were just taking pots, just go boo boo. And I was in the cinema laughing. I looked around, no one else was laughing. I was like, well, okay, this is just me.
That third film, I watched it with Laura in the cinema. And I know you watched it before me, Mike, and you were like, dude, I was just smiling for the whole first like 45 minutes. And I was sat there just like grinning, watching this, and Laura's there like cringing. Like,
And you're just
So
you're
bad.
just beaming.
yeah.
It's just
so good.
Oh, did you see that one bit where like 5 knives went into this one? There's literally a bit in this film where 5 knives hit one dude. I'm pretty sure, or he throws 5 knives.
Yeah, we just throwing knives down.
Oh, it's so good. And the two guys from the raid at the end were like, "Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Wick." I know you guys haven't, apart from Brad, haven't seen the raid, but the 2 guys that are
Brad
actually
was in the raid, wasn't he?
yeah, he's main character, Aiko Uwe.
Thanks, Rob.
But yeah, they're just the fact that they're so polite to him, like, "Oh, pleasure to fight you, Mr. Wick," and all the rest of it. It's so good.
Yeah, they like beat him up, don't they? And then they let him get back up, and then he kicks the shit out.
But then there's like a bit where they go to get up again, and they're like, he kind of just lets them pass, doesn't he? Because they did the same to him. They just stayed down.
Yeah.
They don't actually kill him. Anyway, moving on to the franchise that I'm sure Rob can recite word for word for the next. How long is the Matrix trilogy, Rob?
I don't know.
Have we got enough time to do that, Luke?
I mean, that would make it a 7-hour podcast.
Okay, so we're a little bit over our average now.
Just a touch.
Rob, why is The Matrix one of your best films? Favorite films, I should have said, not best.
Because when it came out, I think I was like 14, 15 years old. Maybe. Yeah. And yeah, it was The Matrix, right? If you look at action films before The Matrix, the fight scenes are like, yeah. And then after The Matrix, there is pre-Matrix action films and there's post-Matrix action films. It's like it's set a precedent in action films. It's
When did the Bourne films come out? Does anybody know? At least the first one.
I can check for
I
you.
think
The,
after the Matrix.
the
I think.
Matrix came out in 1999.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
21
like
years
just
ago.
I'd be surprised.
Just before the millennium. So you kind of had that whole thing playing on it at the same time as well, didn't you?
Born Identity was 2002.
Yeah.
So I guess it did change. Yeah. No, I was just kind of thinking because even with the Bourne series, they're like quite close up, aren't they? Quick shots. Obviously a bit like, Extraction or something like that you would see today. Whereas the Matrix is, it's very different. And they hadn't really done anything like that on American films before, had they? They haven't had. I was watching a documentary with the 611. Is it 611? Is it 611? The guys behind the stunt team. The guys behind John Wick run, because they were the second unit and the stunt team. They were the stunt team for the Matrix.
I'll take your word for it, dude.
Sorry, it's my nerdy shit coming out. But basically, they explained to people that the reason the Matrix works so well is because of the amount of training that went into those films that had never, ever been done before. Normally, they would go for like 2 weeks worth of fight training or choreography, and that would be it. Yet, the amount of time and effort that, Lawrence Fishburne, Carrie-Anne Moss, and obviously Keanu Reeves put in on those 3 films is absolutely
Stop trying to
insane.
hit me and hit me.
Yeah, and obviously Hugo Weaving, because Hugo Weaving fucking is badass in this film as well.
Yeah, he is.
Hugo Weaving
Brad.
must be minted.
What, after the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, and The Matrix.
Well, yeah. Brad, do you want to explain the Matrix for those that don't know? What is
Jesus.
Wait.
What is The
I want to say
Matrix?
this. What is the Matrix, Brad?
The White Rabbit.
You can't explain it. You have to see it.
Which
Wow.
pill do you take,
Is
Brad?
that right?
Which pill do you take, Brad?
The red one.
Oh, you did it.
So basically, what it is the world that you think is real is a simulation made by AI after a sort of cataclysmic event where AI like basically wiped out humans because as they started getting more intelligent and they were using solar energy, humans decided they were going to block out the sun. And then the AI realized they could take energy from humans. So they're using humans in the actual real world to power the AI. And then to keep them like compliant, they make a simulation world, which is the Matrix, where everyone thinks
It's real.
they're in the real world.
Yeah. And why is this?
Having rewatched it for the first time in a long time, it really holds up. It's really good. But I feel like it could be like 40 minutes shorter if it wasn't for all the slow motion in there.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot.
Well, you could probably say the same about the sequels, right? Could they be 40 minutes shorter or even less than that, Rob?
Or not exist.
Before watching them again, I was under the impression that they were shit films and they shouldn't have ever been made. They were terrible. And if they had just left the first film alone, it would have been an enigma and it would have been left as like, we don't really know what's going to happen. It just leave it like that. And then I watched them again. And my opinion stayed exactly the same.
You had us in the first half.
Oh, I thought you were going to agree with me for a minute.
No, I do like them, but they're just pointless.
The second one is not as bad as I remember. The second one
that's true.
actually helps expand on things just a touch.
It
still go on.
It has the Merovingian and the little Chinese guy that makes all the keys and the road that they built and destroyed.
Yes.
Just a heads up. Apparently, the Merovingian's coming back in a certain
Same
sequel.
guy.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
Agent Johnson.
I watched all three again for this.
Agent Dick.
It's been a long time since I watched The Matrix, and I agree with Brad and Rob that it holds up. It will go down as a classic. I disagree with Rob slightly that the sequels shouldn't have been made because I think peer pressure would have forced a sequel to be made whether they wanted it to be made or not. Much like Bill and Ted 3 and Dumb and Dumber Officially 2 and all the shit sequels that get made.
Can I just add this one thing wrong with the first film? You know when Neo dies, right? And then comes back to life because...
She kisses him.
Yeah.
Because of
I
love.
love you. And then he like beats up the agents.
Yeah.
There's a bit where he kicks one of them and his leg stays up in the air.
Yeah.
And he kind of moves to the left with his legs still in the air.
Oh, yeah.
And then puts it down. That's the only thing that's wrong with that film. Don't do that. Why?
Because it looks cool.
No, you just look like an idiot.
To be fair, the fact he
Just
could
like
do
a
that, didn't he
robot.
break his back making that film?
I don't know.
He hurt his back really bad
Don't
or something.
know.
idea.
I can't remember. He really, really hurt himself whilst they were training for this film.
Maybe that's why he had his leg out. I don't know.
Yeah, it was-
Just
I
seemed
love,
like a
I love
silly
the
thing
whole
to do.
like training
He
bit.
took Viagra.
Like the training stuff is really good. I love that they just like here's a floppy disk. Now you know jujitsu.
And Brad's there going, "There's no
And
way
it's
you're going
like
to
he's
fit all
having
that
a
on
hit of crack or
1.44
something.
megabits."
Oh yeah, that's so good.
Yeah.
It's still pretty. I think
I know jujitsu. Show me.
maybe it's just me, but maybe it's the tonal shift between the first one and the second and third one, because there does feel like there's a tonal shift. Like the first one's it's quite horrific, isn't it? It's quite dark. It's quite intense. Where I mean,
There's lots of dark clubs with leather clothes.
there is. I mean, it's Blade.
To
It's
me,
the
the
90s.
the second one really highlights what the first one actually was. Just a really nerdy love movie.
Just quickly going off what Luke said, where he said they probably
It's
get
a
pressured
sci-fi
into.
love film, isn't it? It's a sci-fi
Yeah,
rom-com
it just is. Love brings him back to life from the dead.
without the comedy.
And then the second one is all about them getting back to whatever the fucking city
Zion.
underground is called, Zion, thank you, just to have sex for an evening. There's not much more to it than that. It's just a really nerdy love movie when you get the
And then
bones out
the
of it.
third one. The third one's like the second. Is it the third act of fucking Avatar, isn't it? With all the fucking robots and shit. So
Yeah. We've interrupted Brad again, though, by the way.
sorry, bro.
That's 2 times.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
He's counting.
Because I didn't
We
watch
counted
it
how many films he watched.
when it came out. Because
Interrupt him.
Stop interrupting him!
because I was 8 when this came out, so I didn't watch it till a bit later. Luke said they would have had pressure to make a sequel regardless. Was this like a massive hit when it came
It
out,
was,
or did
yeah.
it like
Massive.
gradually build up?
Dude,
It was
It was
Yeah,
massive.
huge.
the amount of
remember.
people you saw wearing trench coats was insane.
I'm
Rob
wanting
was
a,
one of them.
Including
I'm wanting
you?
a flip phone.
Oh, I wish, dude.
Not a flip phone,
A Nokia 7110, I believe.
slide out phone or whatever they were
Yeah.
called.
And then they switched to Motorola. I'm pretty sure in the second and third film.
Yeah,
For
No
the
idea.
Razor. Was it the Motorola Razor?
they sold out. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sold out.
Sold
It helped pay for the fucking motorway they built.
advertisement.
Jesus Christ. That was like, was it a quarter mile, half mile, something like that they built?
It wouldn't surprise me if it was longer than that, to be honest. It seemed to
you
go
can
on forever.
you can tell though because like no highway has walls on every single side. Like, when you rewatch it, now that I know that it was built purposely for the film, like
You can see it.
you can tell because there's walls. Like you can't see past anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to be fair, I was watching Speed, and there's a bit where they're on the freeway, and I'm like, that looks exactly like the set from The Matrix. But that was in 1994. No, it can't be related. but-
So, just to give some context to the answers that we gave to Brad's question, the budget for The Matrix was 63 million. The budget for The Matrix Reloaded was estimated between 130 and 150 million. And the budget for Matrix Revolutions was estimated the same, 130 to 150 million. Matrix 1 made 465 million at the box office. Matrix 2 made almost 750 million at the box office. And by the time people realized it was shit, Matrix 3 made 425 million at the box office.
It's always diminishing returns on sequels, isn't it? Well,
Well, I
unless
mean,
it's
it
Transformers.
amazes me how popular the second one was. Like, literally, the entire
because of the
planet
first
must have
one,
watched
though,
the
isn't
second one, yeah.
Look at how popular Force
750
Awakens
million.
was.
And that was released in 2003.
Yeah. I think half the problem with those films as well is like they set a huge precedent with visual effects and to push the
Combat.
boundaries with that as well.
And
then you-
just
the
combat
bullet time stuff.
And
looks
then you
really
look
good.
at the second and the third film, and there's like stuff in there for no reason, isn't there? Sorry.
Just one final fact about the box office for Matrix Reloaded. So the second one, just to prove how popular the first one was, to get everybody to go and see the second one. That became the highest grossing R-rated film of all time, and that record was only broken when Deadpool got released.
Hmm.
So that's a
That's a
record
long
that
time.
lasted like 15 years, 13 years,
when was
something like that.
Deadpool? 2016.
2016 for Deadpool, yeah.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
So yeah, but, it didn't do itself justice, did it? Because nobody went to see the third one. So
Me and Rob did, didn't we, Rob? We went to the cinema to see that after college. Back. a few years
I
ago.
went to the cinema to see the second one. I think I didn't for the third one. I'm pretty sure I didn't.
I don't know. I don't think it matters. I think I'll still see the fourth one. I want to see the fourth one. I'm hoping I can see it in the cinema.
I will see the fourth one. I don't know about going to the cinema to watch it, but I mean that's more about a virus than a cinema ticket, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm hoping, I don't know about you guys, but I'm hoping enough time has passed that they've looked at where they went wrong with the
Is it a sequel
sequels.
to 3?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
It's just a direct sequel.
yeah, it is a sequel.
Yeah,
I'm
hasn't
pretty sure we
hasn't
confirmed it on
Keanu
here.
come out and said it's definitely not a prequel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
I don't know.
think it's gonna be
I'm
very
really-
good.
You don't reckon? The fact David Mitchell's involved gives me a little bit of hope.
But it's the
With regards
Wachowski sisters now, right?
It's only one of them.
only one of them. I think, is it Lana or Lily? I can't remember which one.
Believe it's
Which one
Lana,
it
but I
is.
will check that for you.
I think it's Lana,
I think
yeah.
it is Lana. But Christ, it's one of the best sci-fi films of all time. It is up there as one of the best sci-fi films of all time. The first one, at least.
Yeah, it's
no matter what you think.
one of my favorite films ever.
Yeah. And like, watching it, I genuinely was like, this is so good. Like,
Yeah.
it's a really good film.
Part of me
Just
wishes
the whole,
someone
like,
CGI.
the idea
was,
behind it
bums
is
there.
just so original. Like,
Yeah.
But then it's kind of ripped from it's ripped from comics, anime. You know, it was that whole Japanese culture at the time, wasn't it? That they kind of took it from. It is very an anime film, isn't it?
For like visuals on screen though, like there's probably not much like that before.
No.
Like all the bullet time stuff.
No,
Like Rob said, the like quick martial arts and fighting and
it was definitely revolutionary, wasn't it? All the bullet, like you said,
Yes.
the bullet time, the fast.
that slow motion bit where he's running, like where they first go to get Morpheus back, and like he's running and he's going past the columns and they're just like shattering as he's running past them all. It goes on for like 30 seconds too long probably, but it looks really good. Like that whole bit
It's
in
not
that
gonna
lobby
make it.
is really good.
then he jumps off the helicopter, doesn't he? Grim catches him.
Yeah,
And Carrie-Anne Moss does that ridiculous dive and twist through the window near the start.
Which now looks absolutely terrible, doesn't it?
Yeah, that didn't
that's
look
about the
nice.
only bit of that movie that doesn't hold up. To be honest,
Yeah.
CGI wise, I think the
Yeah.
rest of it, even now, 21 years later, still holds up. But yeah, that dive and twist.
Even
was
the
a
bit with
daft.
like his mouth, like, and the like worm going in him, and that the tracking thing, that all looks pretty good still.
Yeah,
Is
it
that
does.
what good is a phone call if you can't speak? That bit.
Yeah.
The only bits that I didn't
This is a
think were
phone
great.
call if you're unable to talk.
The only bits I didn't think were great in the original, in the first film with regards to CGI is trying to think the any scenes with the Nebuchadnezzar, like where they'd basically gone and hidden somewhere. It's
Where they show the like the tentacle.
the Sentinels.
following it
Yeah,
around.
it's starting to look a little bit dated, but I mean,
There's a
It's 21
there's a
years
spire
old.
on Destiny that looks like a Nebuchadnezzar.
yeah.
Really.
Yeah, sorry. I just,
Is that why you brought it up? You got to keep that deal with Crouchy.
Since though Rob's just ruined it, should we wrap this up? Because that's an hour and a half, and I've got a quiz answer to give you, and then we've got a thing to get to.
Yeah, it's fine. Before we go, what are we saying is the best film we've watched then, out of all the films we've watched? Which do you stand by? If you don't want to say that, which do you stand by as the greatest Keanu Reeves franchise?
Matrix.
Brad?
I think my favourite's John Wick, but The Matrix is really good. And I was surprised by how good. Well, surprised by Destination Wedding, but the Matrix is still probably his best film, I think.
Luke?
Best film, Matrix. Best franchise, John Wick.
Yeah, agreed.
Agreed.
I summed it up better. Well done, Luke.
He does it. Unfortunately,
they've got 2 more films to ruin it, but, you know.
I'm calling it right now. John Wick 4 will be shit.
100%.
John Wick 4 will be an hour and a half prelude to
And it's
John
because
Wick
they're
5.
so new. I think you could ruin that franchise. Whereas I don't like, even if 4's bad, it won't ruin the first Matrix.
I just
No,
don't think you can
the
top
first
John Wick
Matrix
2,
4 was
and
already...
then they tried and they used dogs and it failed.
Would you rather they use cats
Yeah,
in 4?
yeah. I wanted
Killer
to train
cats.
cats because that's fucking impossible.
But the problem with 4 is that 5 exists. You already know that 5 exists.
Can you imagine?
that's what I said.
Nothing good is going to happen in 4 because it's like, oh, will he die? No, of course he won't because he's going to come back for the 5th one. He might die in 5,
Wait,
but
wait,
he
wait.
definitely won't in
Unless-
4.
What if the
Unless-
John Wick that we know and love is a simulation.
John Wick is not in the Matrix universe, Rob. Leave it alone.
What if
It would
he
be so
gets
good,
pulled
though.
up,
Oh fuck!
pulled from his universe and is now out of the Matrix?
And that's how he's in Matrix 4.
And
John Wick
that's how
5 is the Matrix 4.
Yeah, there we go. What if?
But I'm pretty sure I said it before, but John Wick 4 could be a prequel about like his previous
John
life.
Wick 5, I think, would be a prequel. If anything, they would kill him off in 4, and then John Wick 5 would be a prequel.
Yeah, John Wick 5 is him finding about him being in a simulation that it doesn't that he can't die in because he's invincible because it's not fucking real.
It would make sense if that was the case. He survived 3 films so far.
Mind blown.
Imagine if they did like the prequel and you don't see like the simulation or anything, but you see someone with like Keanu Reeves there, and then there's like the floppy disks with like gunfighting and like martial arts on it and stuff, and that's all they do.
No,
that'd be
you don't
cool.
even need to do that. If there's
Bulletproof
cats in the
vest.
fourth, if there's cats in the 4th one and they walk past the door twice, I'm done. It's the fucking Matrix.
Oh, yeah. If
And
they
on
train
that
some,
note, we're
if
gonna
they
end it
train some
there.
tigers, yeah.
Tigers?
I don't know. It's a fucking cat, right?
It's a very
Big
big cat, yes. You'd notice if that walked past a fucking door twice, wouldn't you?
Anyway, Luke, quickly before we start down another path of destruction, what is the answer to today's question?
Have you remembered the movie that you think was the answer to the question yet?
No, that was an hour and God knows how long ago.
Okay. It's a movie where John Wick. It's a movie where Keanu Reeves plays a bad guy. No?
The Matrix.
It's some reason I'm thinking Man of Tai Chi.
Nope.
But it's not that, is it?
Rogan
That's one he
47.
directed.
Didn't you think that you knew the answer as well, Rob?
No, I was bullshitting.
Oh, you were blagging it. Okay, it's The
Yeah.
Watcher. A movie that we haven't
Yeah.
spoken about at
Or
all.
seen.
Or I haven't seen it, but apparently Keanu Reeves may still be, but I highly doubt it, friends with the director, Joe Charbanic, who was struggling to get funding for said movie. So Keanu Reeves, being a good friend, said he would do it free of charge if he got a minor role, but that the director could then use his name attached to the movie to say, yeah, I've got Keanu Reeves starring on my movie, just, give me some money so I can make it. And then it turned out that so they got a verbal contract, which is legally binding, but then the director forged Keanu Reeves' signature on the contract to make it official. And then Keanu Reeves ended up getting paid, I think it's about $1.5 million, but ended up with a very, very major role in the movie, even though he was supposed to be in it for like 10 minutes. And he refused to do any promotion for the movie. He didn't back out because of what Mike said at the start of the show for legal reasons and getting sued and what have you. But
Yeah, he couldn't prove it wrong, could he?
yeah, I think there's a clause in every movie contract where regardless of how bad you think a movie is, you can't badmouth it for like 12 months. Literally the day that 12 months was up, Keanu Reeves was on every single TV show that he could get booked into saying how shit the movie was and what happened. So that the story is quite well known, but it's not a very well known movie, so it depends whether people would know that or not. But
That's why no one's badmouthed the film Cats yet.
You're being
Because it's not
serious.
12 months old yet.
A lot of people have badmouthed that film.
Not the people that are in it, though.
Maybe not. Yeah, you got a point.
In about 8 more months.
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, and I'm not in a rush to see it either. Yeah, that was our Keanu Reeves
Crayola
special.
Reeves, so.
I've got to be honest. I really enjoyed watching these films. Some of them I've obviously seen before, and I enjoyed rewatching them. I'm looking forward to whatever we decide to do next, special-wise. Hopefully, it will be less intensive than this one.
Well, we just need to give Brad.
I mean,
more
I only
notice.
watched 4 films
Yeah.
in 4 weeks, so
Yeah.
well, we need to decide tomorrow then
It's
who we're
fine for
doing
me.
for the next special, don't we? So Brad's got 4
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah, I know that we've got a few things flying around director-wise. We just need to kind of sort that out. But yes, thank you very much, and I guess that's it from us this week or this episode. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
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 Bye bye.